Could you possibly rewind and come again?
Okay.
Yes, big up everyone that's checked in already. Shout to Skyo Beats. Shout to Ashmal. Oh, I like that. This guy is on time. This guy is on time like the number 12. Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Bouyon TV. I am your host, Drizzy Freckles. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. If it's your first time here, then this is where we shine the spotlight on some of Dominica's best talents. Some are established, some are on their way up, some are brand new, some are still finding their feet, brand new. But we use this platform to shine the light on, you know, my home, 767, the nature island of the Caribbean, and the talents that are coming out of that island, okay? We've got some cleaning up to do before we introduce our guest, okay? So first and foremost, shout out to our guest who was with us last week. You know, if you want to check that out, go check out Bouyon Instagram. The interview is still up there. I won't say who it was, but it was a very promising young man who's definitely doing his thing. So go check that out. Want to big up and send our prayers to everyone in St. Vincent. You know, we got to keep our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent in our prayers because they're still going through a lot over there. Shout out to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. It's not Mother's Day here in the UK. Ours was like in March, but it don't matter. Shout out to all the mums all over the world. Give thanks and praise to them. And last but very not least, we've got the Bouyon Therapy Volume 4 by DJ Wiz. That's available right now, so go check that out. Now, with all that being said, let me just play this real quick.
Yo, bartender, promoter, listen, Drizzy wants a drink on the house, on the Shelly says so. Give him his drink.
Okay, you hear what the man tell you. Right, without further ado, I want to big up my guest in the house, the one and only. In my humble opinion, actually, let me not say that yet. Let me wait till later on in the interview. Let me not say that yet. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Signal Band's very own, from the youngest and baddest band in not just the island, but the world. Signal Band's very own, Shelly. So good you have to name him 2 times. What's happening, my brother?
Yeah, man, it was nice to do it twice. So blessings, you know, thanks for having me. It's certainly a pleasure. Big up all the people viewing and big up yourself at Bouyon. Big up yourself, Drizzy. You know, it's an honor to be here. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you taking the time out, man, because, you know, you're big time. So we appreciate you taking the time out to give us some time of your day so we can converse with you. Shout out to everyone that's locking in.
For sure, yeah.
So, Shelly, there's a lot of things I want to ask you. So
yeah, I'm
just trying to figure out where to start. But let me give you your flowers first. That's a good place to start. Let me give you your flowers first and foremost. You guys collectively, shout out to my boy Liam. I didn't know Liam was rolling with the band like that, but shout out to Liam. You guys collectively have definitely left a lasting imprint, I think, within the last year. Now, the reason why I say the last year is because obviously those who know of Signal Band know that Signal Band have been making noise and been slowly coming up through the scene, and they've got themselves to you've got yourself to a certain platform now where Signal Band is box office. Okay, like if you put Signal Band on a flyer, you have to be there. It's just that simple. There's no question about it, right? But for the past 12 months, sorry, for me personally, just sitting back and watching, I feel like you guys have gone to if your level was here, you've gone higher up. And this is why I'm saying that. Obviously, we had Carnival last year, just before you know what hit, right? And I was in Dominica. I made my regular annual trip in Dominica, and I definitely saw how you guys were just setting pace, man. Like, you guys, performance-wise, the whole package, the way you present yourself, everything is just A1. And, seeing you guys performing on the road, it's just like, you guys just sound clean. You guys just energy, man. But it's when the Corona thing hit, and then you guys did your inside outside event. Mm-hmm. Now, you wasn't able to be there, but I'll ask you about that in a minute. But there was just like the production value, man. Like, I was watching it and I was like, you know what? They're giving us this for free, which we appreciate. But if you guys had slapped a little $5, a little $10 on that, I would have happily had paid that. Easy. Yeah. I would have paid that without a shadow of a doubt. So I say all that to say this, man. You guys, and then we fast forward to the Illumination virtual event a couple months back.
Yeah.
And again, production value is just like top notch, man. So I want to give you, Signal Band, again, shout to Liam. I want to give you guys collectively your flowers, man, because I feel, as much as I sing you guys praises, I just feel like for the past 12 months, you guys' level has just gone up, man. So I want to give you your flowers before we go any further. I just want to give you your flowers, man, because, definitely, you guys definitely are taking this thing seriously. And, you can see it in the production value, man. You can see it in the production value, Yeah. So we'll go back a step. Inside, outside. You wasn't there in person.
Yeah.
So what was that? Was that due to like traveling restrictions and stuff like that? Is that why you couldn't make the concert?
Well, firstly, thanks for all the flowers. I have to
man.
a garden to put all the flowers.
Yeah. Grow that, man. Grow that.
But for outside, inside, I was in Boston during that time, and we couldn't find. I think I had some other engagements at the time, and we couldn't find any way to kind of work it around so that I could be there. And I was like, guys, I felt that there was some urgency with having to entertain the people, and so we just felt like, okay, we have to go ahead with it without Shelly. And the band practiced tirelessly, and seeing them put on that level of show in my absence was a heartfelt feeling. I was very proud looking at that, to be honest. And so it just makes me feel like once I'm there, that's the icing on the cake, and even we challenged technology to a certain point, because I did the first song with the band.
Yeah.
And everybody wondering how that happened. And I mean, and everybody questioning whether that was a live show or not, because they just
right.
Happened,
Yeah.
And it was a live show, but it was really a testament to the great things that we can do, not just musically, but as you say, production wise, top notch. And it was a great first showing of the band virtually.
For sure. I think that's a credit to the way you guys obviously had prepared and practiced for that, because it was so seamless. Like, you were in Boston, the guys were back home, they were playing, and you were singing in Boston, but there was not 1 minute where I was like, oh, okay, is this? I'm a bit skeptical. It just made sense. Like, because of the production value, it just made sense that was just so seamless, So big up you guys, man. Okay, so I got one more question about that. The Game of Thrones introduction, whose idea was that?
I tried to remember.
That was fire. When that came in, I was like, these guys.
I can't remember which one of the members. It wasn't my idea for sure. I cannot remember which one of the members brought up that idea, but I know it was one person suggesting to play it to play the intro because we had used that intro before already, but
Okay.
sometimes we alternate intros. And then the idea came about, I think Liam for sure gave the idea of individually coming in.
Like basketball players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Liam sent me the mic. It was a Michael Jordan video. I can't remember, but he sent me a basketball video. I was like,
makes
bro,
sense.
just like that, and that was about the. So the musical part was most likely Duns or one of the musicians, but the whole everybody coming individually and taking their ball and then going on the instrument. That was Liam. Yeah.
Yeah, that was clean, man. That was clean. Like, yeah, give you guys your props, man. That was clean.
Yeah,
You guys definitely kept the people entertained. Everyone was going through a rough time, and it definitely, shout to the Queen XP, shout to Triple K, because they all were like Carlin's doing her musical therapy every week. Triple K obviously did they did a few live events as well. So yes, a shout out to everyone that collectively came together to try and give us some, just a break from what was going on outside, man, for the music, because we all had the biggest GoPro once they told us there was no carnival,
for sure. Yeah.
Boy, so that's crazy, man. So for those that don't know, Shelly, give people like a background in regards to yourself and how you started and where you currently are today.
Well, yeah, my name is Shelly, and I didn't start as Shelly. Obviously, I started as a Calypsonian by the name of the Professor. And I remember, well, obviously, I got into music through Calypso, and it was because I always wanted to be the center of attention in class. And I was a talkative guy, and I'm proud of it. I still like that. And I remember I was challenged by one of my teachers, like, you're so talkative, you always want to be the center of attention. Go out on stage and prove yourself. It was almost like a challenge in order for me to embarrass myself. But obviously that didn't happen.
Right.
Okay. And head over to the SMP Calypso competition. I was in primary school, and I got first runner up. And then from that moment, that was my first time on stage in 2006. I was 11 years old.
Okay.
And I'd never been on stage before. I honestly, I would say that I was a bit motivated by my brother Deli, who was singer WCK.
That's your brother?
My biological brother. Yeah. So
I didn't know that. Okay, cool. My bad. Cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
My brother, and even at that time he had just started hitting the front stage for WCK.
Yeah.
So that I think that motivation came from there, yes. But the school pushed me then after to going into the National Junior Calypso Monarch competition, which I won 3 times. And I think the experience 3 times in a row, and the experience there that I got was second to none, because it was the idea of performing by myself on stage, and then I remember Triple K was the backing band at that time. So, it was,
okay.
At that point, I felt like I was singing for a big band, because I was,
of course. Yeah, for sure.
At that point, as the sole performer there and the band being backing you up, that's one. But then also, my introduction to music was rooted in performance. Like we had to deliver. Calypso was about delivery.
Yeah.
And which it was also a singing competition, which is why I've grown to be a singer. And not just a front man necessarily. I had to go for voice training and all of these formal sort of training in music. And at one point, my love for music started to intensify, and my father bought me my first electric guitar, my mother bought me an acoustic guitar, and then everything just started coming together. By the time I got to CXC, I wanted to do music for CXC, so I did music for CXC, because I was all about like taking it to the other level. I didn't want to just be a musician by night, I wanted to be I wanted to be this thing. And somewhere along the way, I fell in love with architecture as well, and I went to study architecture, but never stopped music. Never, never ever stopped this thing. So, and then here I am. I've gone through. I was a guitarist for Triple K for a season. Then I've played guitar with people like Exile One, Gordon Henderson, and I think right now all these experiences are what really shaped Shelly into who he is today, because I couldn't have gotten where I am by doing one thing. It's just all these experiences coming together and just learning what to do and sometimes what not to do. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. You can definitely see that you're a student of the game, and obviously what you just said backs that up, you know. Yeah, I still can't get over the fact Delhi's your brother, you know. That never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Like Delhi's good people, man. Shout out to Delhi and Keith and the rest of the band. Delhi's good people, man. Delhi's your brother.
Yeah, man.
Same. Okay. All right. So in regards to linking up with Signal Band, right? Now, how did that, were you part of the process of creating it from the ground, or was it a case of you met halfway through the process, or, you know, did they reach out to you because it's like, hey, this guy is serious, so we need to bring him in to be part of the band? How did that all unfold?
Yeah, that was ground up for sure.
Nice.
You know,
Okay.
Dunes, Darren, Dylan. We have three brothers in Signal Band.
Okay.
And the two keyboardists and then our creative director, so he's the bigger
Right.
brother.
Yeah.
And these guys are my childhood friends. You know, we grew up like houses apart.
Mm-hmm.
And they, to be honest, they were approached by another colleague from school because I was going to SMA at that time. They went to grammar school. They were approached by the colleague saying that they should put a band together. It was
Right.
nothing about Signal and whatever, but as close as we are, as soon as he told them that, they came to my house saying like, "Oh, you know, Mr. Tell us we should put a band together."
Yeah.
You know, and then it started like that because we were already informally doing stuff on my porch, you know, on my grandmother's porch, and we hitting my grandmother's table, and you know, making a little. We had a couple of songs at that time already, but we didn't have a name, all of that. So it essentially, when that call to bring some musicians together came, it was just a process of starting to recruit other guys. So it was the four of us, and then we started to recruit, and we even had auditions. You know, it's almost like we've been doing that thing professionally from the get-go, because we had
Nice.
auditions
Yeah.
where about 3 or 4 guys came to sing, so we could choose a vocalist, because at that time
Right.
I was nowhere in the path of being a lead singer. I was the guitarist for the band,
Okay.
and
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I was maybe the first guitarist to be selecting the rhythms. I was playing guitar, then I would stop and change the rhythm, you know,
Right. 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 Okay.
and
Okay.
at some point the band made a call out to me and was like, "Shelly, you know, we not just thinking about singing wise, but we think you're the best image for the band." And that was the moment when I had to step up to sing, because
Mm.
I think we started to realize the importance of an image. These guys were just like, "Shelly, you're the perfect image for the band." And I challenged it for a bit. I was a bit skeptical, and then I just started to take the mic, and I had to step up to the task, because I realized my colleagues saw that in me, that I had to be the image for the band, and here we are now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's well. They showed a lot of faith in you from young.
Yeah.
So that's always good. Especially starting from the ground up, and clearly here we are today. Even though isn't the end, but clearly, like, you guys are on the right path, man. You know. Shout out to my boy Hilly who's checked in. So what like the production value, man, because that's really what's impressive, man. So, like, the production value, because you guys brought out a video for hold on, memory, click back. We Want Our Carnival, right?
Hmm.
So you did that little single release where it's like, if you break it down, there's probably about 6 or 7 tunes in the one song, right? Which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
Now, who there's a clip, I can't remember what, I think it's Shelly, I think is it Shell, the section where you guys look like
In the garden.
Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of, you know, Indiana Jones. Like,
Yeah,
who comes up with these concepts, man? Because
yeah.
trust me, I was watching it at work when it first
Yeah.
dropped, and I had to call someone. I was like, "Yo, come see this." And I was like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "Yo, you know, when I say to you, I go back home and Bouyon music and stuff like that." Like, yeah. I said, "Look at this." Now the volume wasn't on because I had my headphones in, so they
Yeah.
was just seeing the visuals, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, what's this?"
Yeah.
And then I gave them the headphones to hear it, and I was like, "Oh, this is different to what I thought it was before I heard it, but this is kind of cool." Like, who is it a collective? Is it a collective thing? Do you guys write the ideas down? Who pitches ideas for your videos?
Well, we have a creative director in the name. Well, it's Dylan Green, who is the. I told you we have three brothers in the band, so two
Yeah,
of them are
yeah.
the keyboardists. So
Keyboardist,
Darren,
yeah.
the keyboardist, and then the third one is our creative director. So he's the guy behind the camera and behind all these concepts for the videos. And
Okay,
I mean,
right.
most times we do speak about it collectively. But anytime you see something out of the box, trust me,
Yeah.
it's him. You know,
It's him, yeah. Okay, all right. Well, big
You
him
know,
up, man. Big
and
him up. I'm a
even
fan.
the
Like
idea
you
of
guys, yeah.
yeah, because we spoke about. I mean, it all came together when we spoke about how we're gonna do a video for the shell. We're gonna get some conch shells, and everybody gonna.
Yeah.
But then he took it to the next level, saying that okay, we have to split ourselves in half, and half of the guys go up on the hill, half stay down, and we're gonna do as if we're communicating through the conch shell, and that was just it. Yeah.
Yo, that video is tough. That video, listen, man. That video is so tough. In my humble opinion, your guy, your creative director, should have done the Dominica section of the family video. That's how highly I think of your guy. Your guy is so sick with it. I was like, if they had just called him and said, "Hey, we're gonna do the family Dominica part of it," can you go, man? Because he's yo, man. And I like I like how it starts, where it's like about 10 or 12, where you lot just chip it on the bay front, like how it would be if it was. Yeah, man. So big him up, man. Big him up, man. Definitely.
Yeah. And funny enough, I would say, just a joke on Liam quickly. He was the guy that we're speaking of, the creative director. He was actually our road manager.
Okay.
Before Liam came on board.
Right.
And there was at one point when we looked at the way that he carried himself, like he was very creative, and when he picks up a camera or even a phone, the angles that he will look to try and take a video, we saw that in him. So at that point, the band invested in a professional camera setup for him, and we were like, "Yo, we're gonna change your role," and then boom, we needed a road manager, so we called Liam.
So, yo, that's nice. That's nice. I like that, man. I like that. So based off of that, just piggybacking off of that, like, like, tell the people how important it is to invest in, like, your purpose, your dreams, like your goals, like, because like you said, you guys thought, you know what, we've identified someone within the team as their creative eye, the way they shoot and stuff. Like, you could take a picture like that, but it's very different if you just bend the camera back a little bit and take a picture like that. If you go down, like, so just explain to people how important it is to, like, invest in yourself when you're trying to, create like content or whatever field of life it is, but how important it is to invest in yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like I always tell people, I think in whatever you do, the most important thing is understanding that you are your brand. If you place yourself as the brand, you will obviously feed that brand with everything that you need to feed it with. True. I remember, quick anecdote again. I remember when we brought in our manager, who, he's in our age group. Like, he's like 27 right now. And the moment that we brought him in, it was like, the usual trend for Dominican bands, or for bands maybe worldwide, you usually get somebody experienced, so they get the links for you and they get you out there quickly. So, maybe that's a lot of people think that Signal Band has had a slow rise, and maybe that has a part to do with it, but we value that slow rise that we're having because it allowed us to find ourselves and all of that.
Of course.
But I remember when he came in the band, financially we were in debt, and at that point, our expenses were way over the amount of money that we had coming in. Because, everything we were doing was for exposure. We're trying to get the name out there.
Yeah, so you do little free things.
Yeah, man. And the moment we got in the green, and we had from the get-go, we were selling our music and all of that. I don't know if you're familiar with New Music Zone. That's where we used to sell our music the first.
Yeah, yep.
And from the income, we sold our music on the Music Zone. That was like our first green light in our finances, and our manager was like, we're going to take this money and invest in studio equipment, because clearly the only income that you have outside of performing is through your music. So that means the music is the raw material, right? So
Right.
he was just like, yo, the best thing we can do right now is invest in some studio equipment so that we can produce more music and in turn, build back more income. That's hidden income. So that's why, the streaming and all of that has always been important to us because we realized that hidden income has been important. And from that moment, it was about branding and investing in the brand. Get your studio equipment, then we invest in our camera. So we do music videos sometimes that we outsource people, but there's some things that we can do in-house,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's good because you guys are so independent and you guys are so flexible with it. You could shoot a video for a song that hasn't probably even been finished yet, but because you got the tools there, you can just go make the video, and then when you finish the tune, you just sync it all up, and then you're ready to go. So you're not waiting on anyone because basically,
exactly,
you guys create your own stuff. So yeah, man, that's big, man. Also, just to put some more flowers in your garden, I want to big you up. Obviously, news broke out that you became president of the Association of Music Professionals.
Yeah.
I mean, Shelly, you're taking everyone's jobs, man. Like, you gotta leave something for someone else, man. Like, what's happening? Like,
I
man.
literally told somebody that last night. Last night, somebody was telling me that something they think I should do, and I was like, I cannot do everything. I just told them straight off the bat, like, bro, I really can't do everything. Like,
yeah. Shout to
but that
in
one,
the comments.
I mean, for sure, the presidency wasn't one that I went after, which was the interesting thing about it. It was something that was basically called. I was called to do the task by my fellow musicians, and it's like I couldn't decline it. I was just like, boy, maybe it's what we need. Maybe that framework is what we need, because I have a vision. Yes, I have a vision for the music and all of that, and it's not a secret recipe that I have. I don't mind sharing the vision, and I want, because I think we need to move as an army from Dominica. Whether we have our differences and all of that, the army, moving like an army is very important because the island already is so small.
Yes, exactly.
The worst thing you can do is have one person moving from Dominica and being a representative of Dominica, whereas Dominica needs to move like an army, because we're already so small, we cannot move as singles.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Miss Charles in the comment section. I think you are the right person for this role. I say that based on how you conduct yourself, how you move, obviously what you guys are doing collectively at Signal Band. Like, I just feel like, let me add some more flowers to your garden. I just feel like you are, no pressure, of course, no pressure, but I feel like you are the guy that's gonna crack the code. I feel like you're the guy that's gonna crack the code. I feel like you are gonna be the guy to crack the code, and then we're gonna be talking about other things in the same space as Balance Batty. Because, like, I'm over here in the UK, so when I'm DJing and I know there's some West Indians, more specifically Dominicans, they'll say to me, they'll go from "How you doing, man?" to "Yo, partner, you got any you got any of that bouillon in the selection there now?" I'll be like, yeah, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
And I know for sure, Balance Batty, doesn't matter where I am, I press play, place is gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like you are the guy that's gonna crack the code. I think you're gonna crack the code, and then it's just gonna be like bouillon. It's just gonna go through the roof. But like I said, no pressure. It might not happen today. It might not happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
It could happen 2022. I just feel like you're the guy that's gonna crack the code, and then all of a sudden, Bouillon's gonna be, while it's respected now, I think Bouillon's gonna be on a stage where, when there's a dope R&B song come out or whatever, it will get a Bouillon remix, an official remix, like not just someone like a Shot to Flip and those guys there, but like an official remix. They'll probably message those guys like, "Hey, we need you to remix this song and get it out there." So like I said, no pressure, but I think you're the guy to crack the code. So I'm rooting for you because the code needs to be cracked. But I think you're the guy that's gonna crack the code. You know what I mean? So what's your plans? Like, you don't have to tell us everything, and I'm sure there's some things that you're working on that you wanna do, and then you announce it when you're ready. But what's your hope in regards to your position you've got as a president of the AMP and Bouyon Music?
Well, so far we have been doing a lot of groundwork instead of like, because the organization, the association was already formed in 2007, and basically it had went dormant. So right now we had a lot of like cleaning up to do, and that's what we've been doing in the past month. So by summer, we have some projects that we intend to embark on. But so far we have been like rooting ourselves on 3 pillars. You know, we figured that we're here to represent. It is one representation in terms of lobbying for policies around music. You know, there's a loophole in terms of licensing for music in the island, especially. Radio stations don't pay royalties. Plus, even venues of a certain capacity, just like how they buy drinks and sell it to make a profit, they should be buying music. And it's even easier to buy music because you just pay like 1% of your profit. So whatever you do, you know, it's not a ripoff. So all these other elements is where is there to represent. Right now we have been meeting with officials in the government, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Culture, you know, speaking about the creative industries and the resources that are available for us, you know, or the lack thereof, and we're trying to change that, obviously. So that's the representation idea of it. Then the other aspect is to educate, because we figure that we have a lot of resourceful musicians in Dominica that know that know some of the hacks of the music industry, that know what is industry standard, but we don't find that across the board. Like, not everyone knows. And in the first meeting, I was like, guys, a lot of the times we think that education has to come from outside. Let's go get somebody in Switzerland to come and talk about music marketing and all of that, but we don't realize that we have some people here with that gift. And it's either because we have a thing like, if somebody too old, we don't hear from them, you know, and or sometimes the person that is old and experienced doesn't really care about the generations after them, you know? So we have to bridge that gap where these people have to be willing to let go of the knowledge that they have, and us as young persons in the industry need to be willing to also meet them halfway and accept that some of these people have gone out there. And, you know, because most of the things I've learned in terms of music business, I've learned it from Gordon Henderson, to be honest, you know. And, you know, this guy, I met him just before Hurricane Maria time, like that's been about 4 years. And the things that I've learned already, like for touring with him and then just being a WhatsApp message away, I realized that we have resourceful people around us. So that idea of education is the second pillar. And then the third one is just a network for us, for musicians. You know, I always tell musicians that we are not alone. This is for music professionals. This is not just about the artists and the band. This is about the sound systems and the venue owners and all these people that come together, the DJs, everybody. This is a system and a network, and almost like an engine. All parts have to work together in unison for that vehicle to move forward. You know, when people ask about the engine, and usually they may think about the motor, but your radiator has to be working well. You know, you have to have your transmission has to be working well, your brake fluid, everything. So some parts may seem a little less important than the other, but they have to work together. So we need sound systems, everybody on board so that we can be a network. And that's the importance of the network. So at that point, you know, you don't just feel like you're calling a sound system, but you're calling your brother in amp, you're calling your sister. You know?
Yeah. So I agree.
Yeah. That's it for you.
Yeah, no, that's nice. That's a nice pillars to work from, man. Because obviously you want to be realistic with your targets and your aims and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's 3 good pillars foundation wise to work on that are achievable.
For sure.
You know, if the people that you're collaborating with come together and assist you and you're all just going in the same direction, these things are achievable, you know, and the music scene will be better for it. That's the main thing. It's not a Shelly only going to benefit from it. It's a Triple K going to benefit from it. WC can benefit from it. Ignition Band will benefit from it. You know, all the up and coming artists will benefit from it. So yeah, I hope you get the support you need. You know, like, it's good to have a good ecosystem. I hope you're definitely going to get that, because you clearly seem like you have a vision to get the scene where it needs to be, you know. It's been a couple years. It's been years, but like you said, it's you know, it can happen.
It can happen for sure, yeah, man.
It can happen, man. If anyone wants to check out more information on the association, they can go to www.facebook.com/AMP Dominica, and you can get more information there. If you want to help Shelly, you know, if you got any ideas, I'm sure they will be open to ideas. You know, we're all in the same boat. We just want to make sure that this genre that we grew up on loving, you know, for the fellas, like myself, you've wined on many people's daughters to this music. You need to help. We need to help this scene, man, because if we help this scene, the scene's going to be there for generations to come. And we'd love to have our musicians, like rappers in America, their 9 to 5 is making music and getting paid from touring and performing and stuff, you know. So yeah, man, we need to make sure our artists are looked after, man. Okay, so Shelly, like, in the lives, like, I've seen you guys perform a couple of times, and you guys definitely give flowers to other bands. Like, you incorporate their music into your set and stuff like that. But I noticed, like, a lot of times you get asked about your gold wells, plural. So my question is, how many gold wells have you experienced since you've been on God's green earth, man? Because it seems like you've experienced a lot, my brother. Oh man, every time I hear it, I'm like, yo, they're giving Mr. Fire. It's like, yo, Shelly, how did you go?
Go for Shelly, yeah.
Go for Shelly. Oh man, how you doing, man?
The answer is zero. The answer is
zero. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, all right.
That's the good part about it. I feel like it's been a good way for me to get into character. Yeah. You know, I always use the examples like, you know, like Tommy Lee's Uncle Demon, but he's not really a demon. You know. Yeah. You know, you know, and that was the most extreme case I could think about. But essentially, that ride on the GoPro wave came after I made Baby Come Back, and I realized that, because it was funny how people gravitate to these things, because I wrote Baby Come Back while I was in a full-blown relationship, but I released it just after a breakup. So that was it. That's really the science as to why Baby Come Back blew up the way that it did. You know, people were just trying to get into my private life. That's all. Because,
yeah. Of course.
They were like, what? Shelly and the girl finish, and Shelly singing Baby Come Back, and, you know, it kicks on Shelly. So from that, essentially, you know, I took that as an opportunity to ride on that wave and get into character, because I was like, okay, that's why you want to see me getting the GoPro. Let's get some more GoPros here. Yeah.
All right. So the streets, we can put this to bed because the streets wanted to know. I've asked the question. Shelly has not had any GoPros, okay? And we're not promoting that, so no ladies, don't DM him or nothing and try with a prop to be the first one to give a GoPro. We're not, no, we don't condone that.
Yeah.
We're not condoning that, okay? We're not condoning that. All right then, man. So with music, right, you clearly have a good pen. You've written one of my favorite Bouyon songs ever, and we'll speak about that a little bit later, but you clearly have a good pen. Like, how did that come about that you're able to write these good songs, man? Because you make a lot of relatable songs, like Baby Come Back. Like, that's a very relatable song. Like, me, unlike you with zero, I probably had one. I can admit that. I probably had one on my resume. Yeah, so
you you put that on your resume.
So I relate to that song. When that song comes, baby, come back to me. I was like, yo, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Talking, he's talking on my behalf, you know. I felt that, man. I felt that in my soul, you know. So what's your writing process, man? Because like I said, your songs are very relatable.
Yeah. I mean, I consider I owe my writing skills to my education, yes. And not just formal education in the fact that I'm doing a master's degree right now. That's a different kind of education. That's a different kind of education.
I was going to come to that.
Yeah,
big up.
To me, that's a different kind of education. The education that I speak about is the fact that I take every conversation is a learning experience, you know, and every YouTube search is a learning experience. Everything is a learning experience, and bringing that together when, you know, writing is an art. It has a skill to it, but it's an art. And when you do the art, you have to do the art thinking about the listener. The song, most times, I mean, naturally as musicians, we write because we're inspired by something that happened in our private life or whatever, and that's fine. But then you always have to think of the listener is the end user of that work of art. So I never think about myself. I remember when I was writing Annie by Your Love, I was just like, I set some rules and I write them down. I was like, no Dominica, no, because the song came right after Hurricane Maria, right?
Okay, yep.
And it was kind of the band sitting down and saying that we need to do a piece of work, you know, to kind of get down to the psychology of the people and let them feel better, you know, and to touch their hearts, and we need something deep. And I was like, okay, rule number 1, we're not saying Dominica in that song. Rule number 2, we're not saying 2017 in that song. Rule number 3, we're not saying Hurricane Maria in that song. Rule number 4, which is that's my main rule. We're not saying Signal Band in the song. That's one of the main rules of when we write. I was
right,
okay. You can say Signal Band as an ad lib, but I was like, guys, in the lyrics, you don't want to say Signal Band because you want another artist to sing that song and just sing it, not having to replace any names of bands. We have sung so many songs right now. We have to replace it with Signal Band.
You're smart. Yeah. That's smart, man. You know what? That's smart. Yeah, because you hear artists singing like Bandwagon Train, and they were like, "Oh boy, this is the," and they're like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So and I mean, I think there are songs for it. Like Youngest and the Baddest was about Signal Band, so you know that song had it. But I think sometimes we try our best to push it in where it doesn't really belong, and that is also part of the writing process. In being as general as possible, you want to be specific sometimes, but being as general as possible, so that a wider audience can consume your music. That's why Annie by Your Love will live on. I Will Die and it will live on because it was never about a certain year. It was never about a particular person. This is a song for everybody, and we try to make the music for everybody.
Yeah. Okay, man. No, that's big. Like, because obviously, like I said at the start of the show, we use this platform to shine light on, you know, all the artists that are coming out of Dominica, and we've interviewed many young artists. Like, there's a lot of artists I probably walked past the street on Roseau, just walked straight past them because I didn't know who they were. But now I've been able to connect with them.
Yeah.
And they're on the live, and we talk about certain things like, you know, your brand, this, that, and the third. So they're a few of them are in the on the live now. So like, I hope they're taking this again. Shelly sharing some good advice in regards to thinking, not just now, but 2-3 years down the line, like other people performing your songs. That's one of the biggest compliments as a musician, is to have someone perform your song. That's them confirming they've realized your song is pretty hot and they need to have it in their set, you know? So, okay. All right, then. Okay. So, on the house, like, for me, I know some people are going to come for me, but hey, I'm 6'5". You know, I'm light on my feet. I'm good. I think for me, on the house is, for me, that's the closest thing to, like, that's Signal Band's Balance Batty. Now, you guys have got a long career ahead of you, so you can always top on the house. But I don't know, man, like, that's my favorite Signal Band song. And I just feel like it's definitely up there with Balance Batty, because Balance Batty is still like the quintessential Bouyon song. You know, like internationally, that's still the quintessential Bouyon song. But I feel like that's up there. And just seeing when you guys perform it, the mood just changes, man. Like the mood will be here pumping, but when they hear that bong 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 pow pow, that just goes up in the air, man. Like what? Like that's another relatable song, but like what? Who was it? Liam? Who was drinking? Who was knocking back the rums? And then you was like, you know what? We need to make a song about these promoters not giving us the drinks while we're performing. Like whose idea was that?
that was another personal experience. I came to Dominica on a Friday, and that same Friday I went to Garage.
Right.
I went to Garage Bar in Bouyon Town, and I was literally just standing in a corner, you know, and the music playing, and I remember that specific beat because I really like that beat. I don't the rhythm going and I was vibing to that beat. You know, and I was like, boy, that's a sick rhythm. And I was in the corner of the Garage. I wasn't even sure if I went there with any friend. Maybe I was with a friend, but at that time I was by myself. And I remember the bartender had some issue because they felt that people were just vibing to the music and people were buying drinks at that particular point. So they said that, support the bar. Yeah. Support the bar, support the bar. So I said, well, all you people supporting the bar, give them something. I said, just like, oh, you people supporting the bar. People always buying drinks here. Yeah. Give back. Just give everybody that they drink on the house, and then you'll see how much more drinks they're going to buy tonight. You know?
Course. Yeah.
And then I say that, and then I think I grabbed the mic that night, or I just went home and I just kind of like meds it a bit, and I was like, guys, I have the tune for this carnival. So much so that I was working on some other songs for carnival, and I just put them aside, and I was like, I'm going to focus on the house.
So there's more in the chamber. Okay. Yeah, no, I think for me, that was definitely my song of Carnival 2020. It was just like, no, hold on. We're in 2021. Yeah, last year, it's 2020. That was definitely my song of 2020, man. Like when I heard that, man, I was just, yo, man, that was there's something about that song, man. Like from the rhythm,
it's infectious.
To the song,
even the rhythm as well. Like even before I came, like everything came together because before I came home for that season, I'd heard the rhythm, and I was like, guys, leave that rhythm right there for me. Just put it on a plate. And I will do it. You know?
Yes, man.
From the moment I
listen.
Oh my God, I heard him crazy. You know?
Hey, that's one of the cheat code rhythms, you know, like you can play a rhythm and let it bump for like 10 minutes and people just be vibing, and then you'll be like, all right, cool, let me hit the lyrics there. Like that rhythm is definitely a cheat code, man. So big up you guys.
That rhythm had a big part to play in it. You know,
the
rhythm,
for sure. For sure, man. Yeah, shout out to them in the comment section. And D said on the house is definitely a vibe. That's why I second that. Dino 767 local. Yeah, locals. Yeah, let's talk about local. Like, hit us in the comment section your favorite Signal Band song. But yeah, local, man. I remember seeing that video and I was like, who's this guy in the suit? Like, because when you go in the video, like the still is you in a suit, I think, by Courts, and I was like, what is this, man? And it's like the beat was dun 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 dun, and I was like, let me listen. But the lyrics again, relatable lyrics, very important lyrics, very of the times. Because you do touch on, you know, it's a nice rhythm, but you definitely get across some important information and matters and subject matter. Sorry. So why did you feel the need to do a song like that?
Yeah, local came from deep within. Yeah, I will say that it came from deep within, and it's maybe one of the most emotional songs that I've written. You know, and I was a bit skeptical about it because, you know, it came from deep within, and I was like, boy, you know, people who really want to tackle these issues in songs, especially bands and artists in Dominica. We don't want to tackle these issues in song because we tend to get branded because obviously the song has a certain critique to a sort of governmental task or their responsibility, you know, and as well as much as it also talks about us supporting each other, it also talks about, you know, the governmental support and responsibility from above. And at one point I was like, nah, I have nothing to be afraid of, because this is not, I'm not trying to even give my opinion on something like that that might be happening. I was like, this is very obvious that you know, we need more support for the local industries or whatever. And I was just like, I'm just gonna go hard in it, and the lyrics, everything just came together. I don't know, like that song just came together, and at that point I was listening to so much trap that that's all I was writing beats at that time. It just was
right. Makes sense now. It makes sense now. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, man. No, that's definitely a big tune. Dee said "Happy Place" is special for her in her heart, because she was in Dominica when it got released, man. Shout out to you, Dee. Yeah, man. So before going any further, I just need to let everyone know, if you're liking what you're hearing, Signal Band music is available on many streaming platforms. We normally play music, but because Signal Band's music is their situation is very professional and copyrights and all that, we haven't played anything, but we will play something towards the end that I think we can get away with. But yeah, Signal Band's on YouTube. Just put in Signal Band Official in the search engine, and you can like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, so when they release new content, whether it's a video, a live, etc., you can check it out. Signal Band's on SoundCloud, the Signal Space Band. Same for Instagram, and they're also on Facebook. Okay. Right now, what is actually no? Let me ask this question. What song, because you're such a good songwriter, and it's probably fair to say you're probably one of the best on the island, what song, what Bouyon song do you wish you would have written?
Man, that's a very good question, man.
Yeah, that's what we do, man.
What Bouyon song that's not mine that I wish I'd written, right? That's what you mean.
Yeah, so it's not, so you're obviously, you know, like it could be from any other bands or artists on the island, but like what song is out there causing havoc or is a personal favorite that you're like, you know what, I wish I had written that song?
Give me about 50 seconds on that.
Yeah. No rush. No rush. It's all right. It's all right. I'm joking. No, take your time. But I like this because clearly you've got a few that you like. You're trying to break down the final two to the fight. So cool. It's all right.
I know let me be honest, it's a song of trilogy. It must be a song of trilogy.
Okay.
I have high respect for him. I just trying to figure out if it's the prayer, but it has songs that of trilogy dating back to like Sweet Talk.
Okay.
You know that Sweet Talk is a track that I admire a lot. I would say the prayer. Let's go with the prayer.
The prayer,
yeah?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So we got the exclusive. If Shelly could have written a song outside of Signal Band, sorry, it would be Trilogy's The Prayer. All right. Yeah. So what we need to do now is I need to try to get Trilogy on the Love Bouyon TV, and I need to let him know, yo, see that guy Shelly? He's gonna crack the code. He said your song The Prayer he rates it very highly. You know. Yeah, man. All right. So
he knows
back of that,
he knows that, so that's good.
Okay,
you already know that, yeah.
Okay, all right, good. See, man, that's what's up. So off the back of that, what is your quintessential Bouyon song? What is if you had to, I'm gonna say you can't say Signal Band just to make it a little bit difficult for you, but if you met a bunch of strangers and they said to you, hey, what's that flag around your head? And you're like, oh, it's Dominica. It's like, where's that? It's in the Caribbean. Oh, what's the scene down there? You say, oh, Bouyon music, what's that? And you say, right, and you say, okay, cool. I'm gonna play you one song that is gonna encapsulate what Bouyon music is. What song would you play them?
Not Balance Batty for sure.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
I want to challenge that. I wouldn't play Balance Batty.
Yeah, yeah.
But what would I play though?
You backed yourself in a corner.
And you think because you tell me not Signal Band, not
Yeah.
Not Signal Band.
All right, okay. So to buy you some time, give me a Signal Band song, and then a song outside of Signal Band.
The Signal Band song I would play would be Land of the Bouyon.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Land of the Bouyon would just get it. It would just be answering a question. From time you ask, like, what is Dominica? The song is answer Land of the Bouyon.
Yep. It's in the title. Yeah. Yeah.
And then outside of that, I mean, I will be respectful and play a WCK song. I just need to think of which one. I think I'll play a WCK song. I will play something like something back in the days, boy, like a culture shock kind of vibe. Because I appreciate culture shock a lot, and I think like every time I hear a written or a verbal definition of Bouyon, I just hear culture shock. Right. Every time it's about like the sort of electronic version of the traditional instruments. Like, that's all I hear in culture shock. I also feel like of closer times WCK 767 is a good representation of Dominica as well. But it would be, with respect to the pioneers, I would play a WCK song. With most humility, I would play a Signal Band.
Of course.
Of the Bouyon,
No, you have to play your own. You have to play your own music after all. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Okay, no. I like that, man. Okay, so I'll just ask you a few more, and then we'll wrap it up. But we'll end it on a song. It's spoiler alert. It's no spoiler what I'm gonna play, but anyway. So what benefits have you guys as a collective gained from the past 12 months in regards to the whole lockdown side of things, but also in regards to technology and how to use it in times like this?
I mean, we have gained a huge respect for virtual performances, not as a constant, but as something that's required now and then. And we think like even when we get out there, it might not be in the form of a virtual performance, but it might be just a certain level of respect for a YouTube channel, for example. You feel like your YouTube channel should have something equivalent to a performance on there, because we tend to get caught in a box thinking that the ideal situation is to perform in front of a crowd. As ideal as that situation is, the virtual platform has shown us that when you perform virtually, you break all barriers of who's there and who's not there. Anybody, anywhere can consume that on any device. We have people, we performing and people were watching us while they're on the train coming from work. Some people were in the class, people were in classes and were looking at these performances. Some people at work, and that means you just introduce another world of consumption of music. And when in other times when you advertise an event, it's the people that can come are the people that get that exclusivity of your performance. And I think there's something valuable about that as well. But as marketing and understanding where Dominica is not as yet, like when we have a lot of consumers of music that haven't heard a song from Dominica as yet, that platform of virtual was the best time to tell ourselves, let's just open our wings and give the world the music. This is about the world consuming the music. This is not everybody in Dominica. There was at some point that I would prefer to do a virtual show than get a call from a performer that can only bring 80 people to a venue. I'd be like, bro, I feel like everybody in Dominica already know the music. There's no value in us trying to make this happen with 80 people, and then you as a promoter might not offset your cost because you feel like we charge you X amount and 80 people cannot pay that amount, and let's just forget about that. And we, as a band, we would value the virtual performance, because maybe financially it might not be that feasible, but I think for sure in the long run, like Illumination next year, going to be sell off crazy just because of the virtual Illumination.
Of course, yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Nah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, you're right, because especially like, you know, if you're a tourist and you go to the nature isle, it just happens to coincide with carnival. You know, once upon a time, like you could go to like Steve's music shop and buy some CDs and get a little mix and all that, and you take it home with you, and that would just remind you of the season, and you know you got the music. But that's not happening anymore. But then not everyone's on the streaming platforms, you know, so the virtual side of things definitely helps, because people are like, oh, I can access that now from my phone, from my MacBook, my tablet, my whatever, YouTube, you know. So definitely, man. So there's pros and cons to it. You can reach more people than you would performing live locally. But obviously performing locally, you know, there's just that intimacy there that you don't get at a virtual gig, you know. But yeah, man. Okay. All right. So Codebreaker, what yeah, no one don't call him that. That's my name for him. Okay, anyone that call him that, yeah, that's exclusive, man. Only me can call Shelly the Codebreaker. What is the future of Bouyon music? It's a two-part question. What's the future of Bouyon music to you? And also, what's the future for yourself and Signal Band moving forward?
Future of Bouyon music is definitely internationalization. Actually, we need to get other people performing Bouyon music. I mean, it has already started, and that's when your music goes international, because in Dominica, we have reggae artists, we have dancehall artists, which means that reggae dancehall has crossed over and influenced other people to be that. So I need to hear that there is a Bouyon artist that is not Dominican somewhere else. That's when we know that music really just grasps that person, and that music is on an international level. That somebody outside the culture is not able to just perform it, but they have to understand it first. You have to understand how it works, to understand the chemistry behind the music, because you know, even to be a reggae musician here, you have to understand the swing of reggae. You know, so we just have to make the music understandable. So make the music get understandable, then people outside of the culture can then buy into the Bouyon music. So that's my dream for Bouyon music. I think other than that, Bouyon music is well on its way, you know, to international sound and international fame and all of that, and acceptance. In terms of plans for myself, personally, you might disagree with me, but my musical career hasn't started yet. I'll be honest.
No, well, I don't disagree. That's why I called you the code breaker, because I said you are gonna crack the code. So I'm not gonna disagree with you, like, because you're still young in this. Like, you're still young. So, like, you know, I'm not gonna dispute that. I'm not gonna dispute that.
Yeah. So definitely, my musical career has not started yet. It may start next year for sure. That's like one of the earliest years it can start. But for sure, I know that based on the plans that I have and the things that I have on the horizon, like, this thing hasn't started yet. And you know, right now I'm just in the years of mega investment in myself, you know, education wise, and getting all the resources. But the moment that I kick off this thing, it will be a Shelly on steroids, you know, and I know that a lot of people, you know, respect the work that I put in and respect. So that's why I don't want to downplay the work too much and do like, oh, I not really do anything. Right now I do anything, but there are bigger things to come that to me will signify a start to the career. And then for Signal Band as well, you know, Signal Band is just going to definitely continue to be the business model that it is. You know, Signal Band has a business model that is working, in the sense of the band has a good image out there. The band is very well respected in the corporate community. So the band has brand ambassadorships, and I think one of the reasons that is important for a band is because we usually will have to chase after the quantity of gigs to get rich. You know, have to feel like, but I need to pay like 3 times, 4 times a weekend to get rich. But that's like working hard and not smart. You know, we want to get ourselves in a position where we can work smart, not have to overwork to make the money.
Yeah.
But we know that we work enough on the weekend, then in the week, all you have to do is go take a photo with in front of a product and you get X and X thousands of dollars. You know, and that is smart work because you know, you just build your brand and ensure that your brand is on a level that people are willing to just pay for your image rights and all of that. So image rights, our streaming is bringing in good income, our merchandising. So Signal Band as a sort of network of a business model is working out. So the plan is just to enhance that. And as you can see, it's like when you spoke about the camera work, we've been, you know, we have gotten to the point of investing in our own camera. We have our creative director doing that work. To be honest, the next step is we have to cut the middle. I'm sorry to the middlemen not getting money from right now from Signal Band, but when we think of the next level of merchandising, Signal Band has to then organize their own printing machine and do their own merchandising. Sorry, you know.
Hey man, you middlemen, you're on the clock, okay? You're on the clock. I hear you, man. Nah, but you 100%. Like, of course.
Yeah. So definitely that. I mean, I'm really excited for the next few years because I feel like the things that I've been able to do while juggling so much, I think from next year when I'm done with school and all of that, I feel like I'm super excited about what I will do when I'm super focused, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. I appreciate that. I definitely want to big you guys up. It's definitely refreshing to see a band that is very like focused, man. Like normally it comes later on in their music journey, but like you guys seem to have been focused from day one. Like this is our blueprint and this is what we're gonna keep with, man. So I appreciate you guys very much. I'll definitely reach out to you. I'm always in your corner because like I said, I'm predicting you're the code breaker. I'm predicting it. When it happens we'll revert back to the 9th of May 2021 and we're like, yo, Drizzy really said Shelly was the code breaker, you know, and Shelly just gonna break the thing. So yeah, man. So let me just remind the people once again, our guest was Shelly, who is part of the collective known as Signal Band. You can follow Shelly at Shelly_Alfred. That's Shelly_ALFRED. Signal Band all over your social media platforms. So Signal Band official on YouTube, Signal Band on SoundCloud, Instagram, and Facebook. Okay. Again, if you got any ideas, suggestions, www.facebook.com/AMP Dominica. You know, go over there and engage, get involved. Shelly, is there anything else you want to leave the people with before we ride out to this rhythm?
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to end with gratitude. Obviously, this gratitude thanks to the fans and the supporters, you know, for entrusting us. I think the sort of success that we have seen at this age is not really usual because I always tell the guys our biggest challenge would have been getting people to dance while we are like 21-year-olds and all of that because you know people have a certain stigma against, like they're like, oh, this little guy cannot come and rock me and make me move, you know, and that was one of the challenges we had growing up, and I think we have broken that code already in the sense that we get our fan base sometimes is much older than us and we have them dancing and grooving. So, you know, I want to thank them for that. Thanks for the support and growing that trust in the band, in my brand personally as Shelly, you know, and thank them for the continued support. All the band members, big up themselves, you know, who locked on and who not locked on, big up all you. And, you know, thanks to people like you, Love Bouyon, for the Love Bouyon platform. You know, you guys have been doing a great job in terms of even just being like a news outlet. We will see when is a local celebrity birthday. That is different. You know, people, these are little things that go a long way that people don't even acknowledge, but you know, they have that's important. We need these platforms where we need to know when is our local star's birthday. We need a little music now and then, a little humor now and then, you know, all of that. Yeah. So big up on that. And yeah, other than that, you know, Thanks a lot for having me and big up everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, man. Yeah, big up, definitely big up the Love Bouyon team. They definitely keep everyone well informed. So big up yourselves. Love Bouyon is available across all social media platforms, as is myself, Drizzy Freckles. Happy birthday. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We definitely want to big you guys up. Bouyon Therapy Volume 4 is available right now, courtesy of our very own DJ Wiz. Yes, it's only right. I think it's only right that, like I said, normally we play music and we didn't really get to play music just because, you know, like I said, single mans, they got their situation on point. But, you know, as it's Mother's Day, we want to, you know, it's only right we make a toast to the mothers and stuff. So I think it's only right we write out to this next June. So shout out to everyone that checked in. This is Love Bouyon TV. I must say, we won't have an episode next week, and there's a very valid reason why. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, brothers and sisters in St. Vincent are going through a situation right now, and we definitely need to keep them in our prayers. Hopefully I make it, I have been invited to do a charity bike ride to raise funds to send to buy the essentials to send to St. Vincent. It's like a 70+ mile ride. At the time they told me it was 40. I said, I can do that. I've got that on my Apple Watch. I've done 40. Then it was like, oh, nice, about 70. So it's like, I can't back out now. So I'm going to be doing that. So I think I think my friends are going to have like a little congratulations, well done, like little barbecue thing or whatever for me. So next weekend, I'm out of the picture.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not on a hospital bed, but I'll be out of the picture next week, okay? So we won't have a show next week, but we have a show the following week, which is the week of the 22nd. Obviously, check Love Bouyon's Instagram. We'll definitely put up a flyer to let you know who's coming on the show. But yeah, without further ado, let's just ride out to this one. I've been your host, Drizzy Freckles. This has been Love Bouyon TV. I've had the honor to speak to you know, Shelly from the Youngest and the Baddest Band, Signal Band, aka the Code Breaker. And yeah, let's just line it up like this.
Yo, bartender, promoter, listen, Drizzy wants a drink on the house, on the Shelly says so. Give him his drink. So for this one, they always want us to my drink. But for me, we want a drink on the house. Oi, on the house. Yeah.
Yo, when it's nice, you have to play it twice.
So for this one, they always want us to my drink. But for me, we want a drink on the house. Oi, on the house.
It's water, but still.
On the house. Oi. On the house. Try to come now. We want a drink on the house.
Yo, big up my boy Liam.
You buying drinks so you want a drink on the house now?
Shout out to DJ Snow.
We want a drink on the house. Whoa, on the house. We want a drink on the house. On the house. Whoa. Go by the bar and ask for something on the house. I tell them Shelly send you. So for them, I can come in and get out. Don't be. Sorry. Sorry. That's just who I am.
You Don't know.
Yeah, man. It's Sunday, and I don't wanna stress myself out because I ain't got nowhere to go to experience that in live and direct, you know.
Yeah, man.
So big up yourself once again. Yeah, man. Big up to everyone that was locked in. I've been Drizzy Freckles. That's the Code Breaker, aka Shelly. Don't forget to support the vibes. Signal Band are on a lot of streaming platforms. I'm a Tidal subscriber, so I listen to them on Tidal when I'm doing my little gym workouts. I got Signal Band playing in the background. So, yeah, man. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Give thanks and praise. Don't forget, stay humble, stay blessed, stay black, drink your water, mind your business, look after yourself, and look after each other, okay? We're out of here. One. Shelly, big up yourself once again, my brother.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you, man. Respect.
Bless-
All right,
blessings,
one.
yeah.
Cool.